Leesburg. The theme for the year 2023 is Living Out Loud. And as you can see on your screen, our theme for June is Embracing Self-Care. And isn't that so nice as we're approaching the halfway mark of this year, that we remember that it's important to take time to care for ourselves. The topic for today is pleasure, and I cannot wait to see what Charlene brings to that message today. We are so glad that you joined us here, took time out of your busy schedule to just reconnect with friends, reconnect with yourself, reconnect and learn something that furthers your spiritual growth. If you have any prayer requests or concerns, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we will include them later in our service when we do our affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment, because it all starts here, right? All right, we're going to officially kick off our service today with this welcoming video. So sit back, relax. We're so glad you're here. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. You know what? We show that video every Sunday, and today I especially tuned into those 5 pillars. And our topic today is pleasure. And I hope that study and prayer and meditation, the law of circulation and service are things that bring you pleasure. So let's launch into our meditation today. And as we begin, we're going to start, as we always do, by just grounding ourselves with a few deep breaths. Sink into your chair if you are sitting. Relax your body if you are standing. Maybe shrug your shoulders a little bit. Wiggle your toes. Just get into a very nice, comfortable, relaxed state physically. And now let's focus on our breath. Breathing in and holding and exhale. Oh, thank you, Charlene. I love the sound of the chimes, the gong. And I love seeing the gentle movement of the leaves on the trees. You can almost feel that breeze that is just moving them so easily. Take another deep breath in and out. We just calm our mind and our body as we move into this state of meditation. So for today, I have the ideal day meditation. So I'd like you to invite you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture just the ideal morning. You're waking up, stretching, there's a smile on your face, you're ready to start your day. You had a really good night's sleep. Oh, and you just feel energized and ready to go. And now I'd like you to picture some sensory things. I want you to feel something that's very soft and comforting. Maybe it's a robe, maybe it's slippers, fuzzy slippers. Maybe it's just something soft that's on your bed, a blanket or throw. But feel something that gives you great pleasure. You smile whenever you see this. So it's not that ratty bathrobe. It's a really luxurious hotel quality style bathrobe. And it's new slippers. It's a new throw. Just picture something that just feels so soothing and makes you so happy when you touch it. And now I want you to feel and imagine in your mind something that brings you a lot of pleasure when you smell it. Is it that morning cup of coffee? Is it a deliciously decadent cinnamon roll? Oh my gosh, I'm picturing a giant cinnamon bun right now. Something that you smell. Is it a banana that you peel to start your breakfast? What brings you pleasure as you smell it? And now as you start this perfect morning, I want you to see something. Maybe you gaze out your kitchen window, and you don't have to see what you normally see. You can imagine anything. Are there unicorns prancing through your backyard? Is there a little bunny hopping across? Are there birds stopping about their day, taking a little sip at a bird bath? Just picture anything that would just give you pleasure as you start this perfect day. I want you to notice that you feel so energized, you feel strong, your body feels healthy, you are at your prime, and you are ready to go. So your day is officially beginning. You've had your breakfast, you're dressed, you're showered, you're ready to go, and you're moving into the first task that you have to do today. And you can imagine that this is anything that you want this to be. Is it a Sunday morning, so you don't have work calling you? Or is it something that's an exciting day at work? You have an easy commute. Just picture everything is just, the ideal day. Everything is moving as it could in the best of your imagination. And notice as you moved into this first task of the day, you are so confident, you are happy. There's a huge smile on your face. You know that you were prepared for this day, you are ready for this day, and you cannot wait to show what you can bring into this day. You have that smile because you know that all your interactions are positive with coworkers, friends, family. You know that you are living out your divine purpose. You are where you are meant to be. And I want you to notice how your actions, how your decisions benefit not only you, but everybody. It just spreads like ripples around you. Everyone is blessed by your presence, by your positive energy, by that beautiful aura that can't help but respond to that positive energy that you are sending out. You are where you need to be. On this day, just flies by because it is just filled with ease. I could take you to the end of the day, but since for us on the East Coast, it is morning, I want you just to keep that beginning of your day feeling that I've given you in this meditation and just kind of carry that with you as you move through the day. We've imagined in this meditation just the ideal day. And I want you to hang on to that. The affirmation is, I am having an ideal day. Today is an ideal day. I am living out my divine purpose. I am exactly where I need to be. My actions are well timed. I am so happy. I'm filled with so much pleasure because I know that I'm filled with joy. I'm filled with abundance. I am so blessed. Doesn't that feel good? Take another deep breath. Wiggle your toes. Take another deep breath and just feel your lungs expanding. Feel the power, the energy that you have inside you. Your body is amazing. It is a divine gift. You were divinely created. Now it's time to end our meditation because another thing that gives us pleasure is music, and the music that is provided by Soul Pajamas.
Well, while all of this was going on, I just have to share a couple of sensory experiences, since your senses are such a great source of pleasure. But, you forget to think about that. So while that meditation was going on, a Baltimore Oriole came to the hummingbird feeder and was sipping sugar water. And the color orange in the Baltimore Oriole is just breathtaking. The other thing that happened is we're living in an apartment complex, and somebody is cooking Chinese fried rice. And it's just our whole little studio here is filled with that smell. So my senses have been made happy in a pleasurable way. So this is a song Dan wrote about meditation and how, because let's face it, when it comes to self-care, that's at the top of the list. But this one is kind of funny in that it's a meditation on all the different places and ways you can meditate. You don't have to speak, no need to make a sound. This is not a prayer, it's the other way around. Close your eyes or leave them open wide. Breathe and listen for a gentle voice inside. In the silence, in the silence, the scene is set and idle thoughts may take the stage. Observe them passing, but refuse to engage. Chaos on the outside, and you are able to release. Deeper and deeper, nothing but a state of peace. silence. In the silence. You can perfect a yoga pose. Follow a guru, I suppose. Or disregard any of those and do this on your own in the silence. In the silence. In the dead of night, in the light of day, in the silence, in the passing of a moment, in the shadow, in the silence, in a dark room, at a red light, on a park bench, on a day hike, in a dream state, any time of day, any waking hour, on the subway, in a crowded elevator, ooh, in the silence, ooh, in the silence, in the silence. The silence.
And the crowd goes wild. That was very good. That had soul in it, and then it had spirit in it. You guys are so talented. Thank you for that. Happy Father's Day to the fathers in the room. To all the single mothers out there that are holding down the father role, happy Father's Day. To the father energy, to the hood of fatherness that it is that we bring to life. And speaking of Father's Day, it is also solstice in a couple of days. And I love that Father's Day always falls right on either right before or right after summer solstice. As you know, summer solstice is the time when the light stays out the longest. Winter solstice is the shortest day of the year. And so what I'd like to say about that is something kind of cool. Hold on. I had it. Yes, the fact that when it comes to fathers are the energy of fatherhood is that moving forth with energy, whereas the motherhood is more of the receptive. And not to say we can only embody one, but there's a yin and there's a yang. And so the activity of fatherhood, the activity of moving forward is similar to just giving rise to. In fact, one meaning of father is to give rise to. So thinking about our fathers gave rise to us. I mean, that's still the case. I don't know how long it's going to be till we just start cloning people. But until then, we do need fathers to give life. And so the sun every morning gives life. And this solstice is the longest day of the year, more life-giving. I'm just saying, it kind of goes together. It works great. And so with that sort of encapsulating this weekend, this span of about 4 days, we've got Father's Day, we've got the solstice coming up. We've also got Juneteenth. Now, Juneteenth is on June 19th, that's tomorrow, and it is known as Emancipation Day. It symbolizes freedom because of the then President Abraham Lincoln general order on that date, June 19th in Texas, announced the freeing of the slaves. Now, enslaved, the freeing of the enslaved. I would like to challenge every one of us whenever we mention someone who was enslaved, not to say they were a slave. Not sure why, but it hits different when we agree and admit that this was not their choosing. They were enslaved, pretty much kidnapped, trafficked over here, and then enslaved. That's how it worked. And it's nice when we can understand that and say the enslaved. And every time I bring it up, sometimes I don't have to bring it up because I'm in classes of very enlightened beings in my ministerial school. And someone else takes it upon themselves to say, oh, so dear professor, I know you may not be aware, but I would prefer you use the term enslaved. And then I'm over here going, yes. It just hits different, doesn't it? So that was the day that the enslaved were announced free. And so this is the day that we memorialize it. And thank goodness it's becoming more and more mainstream. Although Black people have been having Juneteenth picnics for a long time, slowly but surely it is becoming more aware and in our common zeitgeist to recognize that and possibly have a holiday around it. So Barack Obama said a couple of years ago, Juneteenth has never been a celebration of victory or an acceptance of the way things are. No, it's a celebration of progress. It's an affirmation that despite the most painful parts of our history, change is possible. And there is still so much work to do. In fact, rest for a minute, have a sip of water, and then get back to work, is what Barack is saying in this quote. I love that. So here we are in this topic. It's the month of June, and Tamara so wonderfully brought us into this with a wonderful meditation on pleasure, because last week was kind of heavy. We talked about grief, we talked about loss, and we talked about balancing grief and joy. But today I would like to talk to you just about having pure pleasure. Because think about pleasure not as that, although Erin did mention the senses, and that's not the only way to enjoy pleasure. Because when we rely solely upon the senses, what we are doing is we're saying, I will wait for external conditions to be such a way that then I can have pleasure. But the thing we have to do is what Erin also said, was she was in the moment and she was appreciating that moment that brought her the awareness of the pleasure, the sights, the smells, the beautiful colors of that Oriole. That all works together. But do you know, we can't notice that. We can't notice the sights that are pleasurable. We can't smell the smells that smell great, or appreciate any color or any beauty in our lives if what we are preoccupied with is complaints, negativity, and doubt or fear. So I would venture to say that the first step in moving toward the self-care practice of pleasure, it would be to let go. Let go of all of the ways in which we compare ourselves to others, all of the ways we expect things to be. Letting go of that expectation. And you know what's coming next. Letting God present what it is, what life has for us in this very moment. We drop away everything that we thought it should be, and we allow ourselves to come to the present moment. And so Erin and Dan did a wonderful song about meditation, and that's what Ernest Holmes teaches as well, that we must release any ideas that are unlike our pure self, our highest self, the truth about who we are. How do we release those ideas? Why, they've been baked in from the moment we could remember thinking. We've been baked in with the idea of not good enough, must strive, money is the most important thing. If your parents didn't teach you that, then society definitely taught, as we were coming up, how to be valuable. You need to have value, how to have value. But you have to amass things that other people think are great. It didn't say sit down and go into meditation It didn't say when you're on the subway, you can meditate. Society doesn't teach us that. Society says, don't meditate on a subway, even though you could. Don't meditate in traffic. Well, I mean, you shouldn't close your eyes, but you can totally meditate in traffic, especially at a red light, like they were saying. You could do lots of practices all during the day. What are these practices meant to do? You guessed it. Release any ideas, any expectations, any false narratives that have become the mind's playground, and sink into the beingness of who we are. Just sinking in to the beingness of who we are. When our emotions get congested, it's because we've held them down. We've not allowed ourselves to express the grief that we were talking about last week, any anger, we hold it down. We decide it's not okay to feel bad. It's bad to feel bad is what we've been taught. And so we push it down and we create these mechanisms, these survival techniques that end up being more trouble than they're worth. That's what we talked about earlier. And so instead of sitting in the pain, we'd like to avoid the pain and go straight to pleasure. But how can we really enjoy anything if there's this little nagging voice that's saying, but you're ignoring me, but I'm important too. Listen to me. Some of us call it our inner child, the one that was bruised, the one that has gone through something unpleasant. And some of us who have been told not to examine that, just throw that in the corner and just keep moving. Fake it till you make it. Act as if it's true. Just go for it. Ignore. It's a lot of the toxic positivity that can get us in a bind. What we're being taught to do, and it's not new thinking. This is not new thought. It's ancient wisdom. Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. Hippocrates said that there's only one life, there's only one thing going on, and we just had to become aware of it. And then it's on the tip of my tongue, that said, you cannot a man does not step into the same river twice, because the river's not the same and the person's not the same. We move through our lives and everything, every moment is different from the previous moment. Yet we act sometimes as if we're on autopilot, expecting everything to be exactly the same from day to day, thinking things won't change, or opposite of that, praying things do change. Either way, we're not in the moment. We're either hoping it's different tomorrow so I can ignore what's happening now, or not noticing things are changing and I'm still behaving in the old ways that no longer serve me. These are the indicators of sleepwalking. And we don't want to walk while we're asleep. You bump into stuff when you walk while you're asleep. Walking with your eyes closed, moving forward with no vision. What? All that sounds pretty dangerous, but it's how many of us live every single one of our days. But in this community and in all communities all over the world, there is an awakening happening. We're waking up. And the first thing we talk about is the thing that is the theme of Juneteenth. It is a theme of freedom. We have freedom. That's what I thought, Mafi. Juneteenth is the day the people in Texas found out about it, because they were enslaved for a long time. And everybody else had been freed, but then the word didn't come down to the people in Texas. It was held from them. Now, I love this. We're getting live fact checked and I take it in. Let's do it. Can somebody Google for me and drop it in the chat? What was the actual day of the Emancipation Proclamation? And then that day was well earlier than June 19th. It was well before that, because nobody told them. They didn't get a memo. So let me know, and then I'll make sure to bring this into the chat as well. I love it. I'm not going to spread, even though I read stuff and I don't fact check it, it takes a village. So I was going to mention about freedom. What else are we free to do? What is freedom really? Spiritual freedom means that I don't have to live at the behest of my 5, some say 6 senses. I do not have to live as if I'm limited. Now, without dragging you through the whole class I took on the Upanishads, which was amazing, and the Bhagavad Gita, there's something they talk about, that there are 3 forces that hold the physical world together. And it'll make sense to you once you hear what they are. And I'm not going to talk about their official names. I'll just keep it real simple. There's the force of creation, which brings new things forth in the world. The force of creation can be seen everywhere. It's how we got here, for goodness sake. And it is found in art, in science, in nature, of course, in nature, and in everything that ever gets created. Anything that ever emerges as a hint of, aha, inspiration, that's the force of creation. And there's another force that holds together the physical world. That's the force of, you guessed it, destruction. There is a force that destroys things. Think forest fires, think anything that tears something down. There's a reason for that. And then the third force is, I'm going to call it stasis, because there's not a really good word for it. And there's a long discussion about what to call it, but some people call it maintenance. It's a better word. Now, maintenance is the thing that tends to keep things going. It's what causes a chair to remain a chair until somebody takes a hammer to it. And then when someone takes a hammer to it, it's the thing that causes hammers to act like hammers, or fires to continue to consume things if you don't put them out. It's that maintenance energy that's present all the time. In fact, all 3 of these are present all the time. It's like a 3-legged stool. So the physical world is being held together by these 3 forces. And when we humans who are emanated from divine intelligence, I'm sure of it now. And I'm not sure that animals aren't, but all I know is my experience, and what I've experienced in my learning so far is that we have access, and we are in part what the divine created. We are in part what the divine is as a whole. If we think about it, if we are a wave in the ocean, we have emerged as energy. Each one of us is a wave, and we are the ocean. We're the energy movement that gave rise to our existence, and we're made of ocean stuff. So we individuals move through life having our beingness as an individualized energy of the divine. We're made of the divine. We're still in the divine, just like the wave is made of ocean water. It's still in the ocean and it's moving. It's a perfect analogy. I love it. So here we are. But the thing about humans is that we have the ability to rise above our 3D world, above those 3 forces. This is what I was taught doing those 10 weeks in the Bhagavad Gita. We were reading and studying how Arjun, the warrior, was being told by Krishna how to rise above the 3 forces. Now, what would somebody tell you to rise above the 3 forces? Don't you live and move and breathe in this world? Yes, but if we are operating all of our energy, our ups and downs, our good and bad, if we are being thrown around, tossed around by conditions, and we're not anchored in something higher, then we're not going to have that pleasurable, satisfied life. We will be subject to external conditions. Everything that goes wrong, we'll turn on the news, we'll watch the news, and for the rest of the day, we're silently cussing everybody out because it sucks. Life sucks. And then we're driving and someone cut us off in traffic. that proves it. Life sucks. And then if something great happens, someone throws us a Father's Day party or a birthday party, it's great. Everything's great. I'm happy. But we all know that that is a transient time. That could be taken away in a moment. Are we really going to allow life to fling us around like a rag doll? That's not the only choice. So in this Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is being taught how to meditate. And everywhere I turn, you guys, I look at book after book, material after material. It all leads back to sit down and hush. This is how I see it, because I'm always, oh, but there's something I have to do. Oh, there. Sit down and go within. It's the message that keeps coming back over and over and over again. And every time I listen, it's amazing. And then I ask myself, well, why do I resist this so much? There are some answers to that. It has to do with personality and ego and all that. I'm telling you, sitting down and getting quiet, if for 10, 20 minutes preferable, and just doing it consistently, slowly but consistently chips away at that hard shell that's covering up who we really are and allows us to blossom. Things come out that you don't even know were there. Stuff, synchronicities happen that we don't know are there. What's really going on in terms of this freedom? As a human being, I have the freedom to choose. Do I want to sit down and meditate? Or do I want to give my attention to something else? That's the freedom we have. We can believe what people tell us about who we are, or we could go within and find out for ourselves. We are free to do that. Nothing's stopping us. We are not in a teaching that says you have to do these things or you're going to go to hell. That doesn't exist. And we know that. We know that heaven is right here at hand and hell can be right here at hand. You don't have to wait to die to experience the disconnection, the loneliness, the sense of separation, the fear, the doubt, the worry, and all of that's right here based on our choices. So we're not compelled, we're not impelled to do it. We don't have to. But if you're like me, the things you're reading and the things you're studying keep saying the same thing over and over again, possibly it's a thing you might want to look at. It's no longer something that I have some time, I'll get to it. Oh, I missed today, I'll do 2 tomorrow. Not how it works. But we have the freedom to discover for ourselves what is waiting for us. And so I'm here to say that we no longer will have that sense of being tossed around. Back to the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna is learning about this, and he finally finds out that through the practices of meditation, there's so many different types of meditation that you can do, that there is this state of eternal bliss consciousness. Say what now? Eternal what? Eternal bliss consciousness is the transcendental, is the enlightened way, where supposedly I've had glimpses of this. I am not the one that just wakes up and I'm like that all the time, although I hear it's a state of being that you could go anywhere and not be moved by the ups and downs of those 3 forces in life. That no matter where you go, you have a sense of not only pleasure, but deep joy and bliss. Well, how'd you get there? Because you found contact with something higher than these 3 forces that are always pulling and tugging back and forth. Something's being created. Yay, something got destroyed. Boo. Oh my God, I got what? Yeah. There's something in you, they say, that can go out in everyday life and permanently experience bliss no matter what. And that, yes, you still have preferences. I still prefer a bagel with this kind of cream cheese, but I'm not going to die if they get the order wrong. Everything's okay. Yes, I would prefer people don't cut me off in traffic, but I'm not going to scream if they do. It's some sense of, it doesn't sound delicious. I totally want to get there. So I think that's the point of all of our teaching. That's the point of our practice, is to practice this until we know for sure that we are one with the divine and there's something amazing going on. We've never been born. We never are going to die. We simply emerged as this body. And whatever's next will be next and will be just as fabulous, and that there's bliss all along the way. So I love that I have you with me on this journey as we all try to figure this out. But as you know, I'm always ahead of time. Not ahead of time, I'm always out of time. So I wanted to end with this fun little quote from Ernest Holmes. It says, to just put a little pin on it, it's right here in your spiritual journal. Anyone wishing to develop a pleasant personality must first become pleasant and think comforting thoughts. Do you think he was talking about eternal bliss consciousness? Maybe so. Okay, well, let's go within and pray on out. Let's see if there's any requests for prayer. Okay. So, and yes, 2.5 years was the amount of time that the enslaved people in Texas kept working and didn't hear that they were free. 2.5 years. And we go into forgiveness. All right, let's go within. There's only one mind, only one life, and that is the mind and the life of the universal one. This is the divine presence that has, it is the ineffable. It cannot be described. It is that creator of all that is created, even that which is unseen. It is that divine potentiality that exists beneath all things. It is that presence that is benevolent in each and every one of our lives, and we couldn't be separate from it if we wanted to. And it is here that we sink into that awareness that in the very center of our beingness, there lies the divine spark. That divine spark that is only us. I have my divine spark. It's nothing like, yet is exactly from the same one as everyone else. And as we allow the false selves to fall away, any sense of fear, doubt, and worry, flee in the light of this divine center that is us. And we boldly step forth into our new awakening, into our new awareness of who we really are. We let go of any expectations. We let go of any fear-based behaviors, just knowing that as we allow those things to go, they will be replaced by the divine idea of who we really are. And so I speak my word that we plant these seeds every day into this fertile soil. We pull the weeds of doubt and worry and fear. We know that our garden of the divine is ever flourishing. It is amazing, and we are filled with peace and a pleasant mind. I release my word in a midst of grateful thoughts for all that has been said here today, and I let it go, let it be, and so it is. Ashe. And the soul pajamas are next.
That was wonderful. Are you ready to dry up your tears? Are you ready? Say goodbye to your fears. Rev it up, shifting gears, higher and higher till morning appears. Are you ready to come out and play? Are you ready to seize a brand new day? Live it up, don't delay. Magic and mystery and more on the way. Now, my friend, now is the time for beginning. again, releasing the need to know exactly how it will go. And I'm ready, really, 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 really ready. Ba-ba, ba-dum, ba-diddle, bid-diddle, wee-ba-dum, diddle, diddle, ba-ba-dum, ba-diddle, ba-ba-ba-ba, diddle, ba-diddle, be-diddle, be-be-dee-be-doo-dee. Do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-do-ba, twee-up, tweet-up, be-doo, be-da-doo, ba-da-da-da-da-da. I'm ready to make a new start. Creating my world is a work of art. Make it up, play a part. Stars on my ceiling and joy in my heart. Now, my friend, right now is the time for beginning. Choose again, releasing the need to know exactly how it will go. And I'm ready to make a new start. Creating my world is a work of art. Shake it up, break apart. Stars on my ceiling and joy. Stars on my ceiling and joy. Stars on my ceiling and joy in my heart. Yes, in my heart. Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready now? Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready now? Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready? Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready now?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Charlene. And thank you, Soul Pajamas. That was wonderful. So now is the time that we bless our donations that are shared with us today. At CSL Leesburg, we believe in the law of circulation, like you heard in our opening video. So we are a tithing community. The donations that are shared with us bless our center, allow us to keep coming to you each and every Sunday. And they also bless other organizations that support our vision for helping to create a world that works for everyone. Plus, of course, our home organization, CSL. Please look at our screen. There's so many ways for you to give. It's easy to find a way that works best for you. Odds are you've already found one. I know I'm right. So however you're giving, just take that, place it over your heart. It might be physically, it might just be mentally. And join me in our affirmation of oneness as we bless our gifts. Here we go. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. All right, folks. So now it's time for some very exciting announcements. So we have something very exciting that's going to happen next Sunday. I'm looking over, yes, indeed, next Sunday. And it is our mid-year vision board check-in. And it's going to be led by our wonderful Layla. And she asked you, how is your year's manifestations going? How's it going? So let's gather and share our celebrations, our changes, our pending progress. We did a vision board at the beginning of the year. Let's see how things are going. So bring your vision board from the beginning of the year And we're going to make one simple one before joining the call. And you can it's going to be at 1:00 next Sunday following our service. And it'll be so fun to just kind of check in with you, get together, share what's happening, what is coming true from your vision board, and what you're still looking forward to in the next half of the year. So I love that, perfectly timed around summer solstice, a check in with our vision board. And look at those gorgeous, gorgeous sunflowers. So Sunday lunch Sunday lunch bunch is back. I was at Wegmans yesterday, and I was telling a friend how we used to meet on the second Sunday of every month, and we would get our little meals at Wegmans, and you can find anything that suits your interests, your dietary restrictions, things that give you pleasure. And then we went upstairs and we found an area and we just kind of took over and we gathered together and we shared, we laughed. I got some great movie suggestions, entertainment ideas, book ideas. We just shared and had some fellowship together. We're bringing that back. Why? Because you asked for it. My apologies to folks who don't live locally near Leesburg. You can't get there, but I have a feeling we'll figure out a way to FaceTime with you. So you just have your lunch, you join us. It'll be on the second Sunday of each month at 1:30. And you can see the dates right there. So our first one is going to be on July 9th. You got plenty of time, guys, to mark your calendar and make your plans to join us. It'll be so good to get together in person as we bring back our Sunday lunch bunch. And we started our class, Historical Foundations. Charlene, you jump in and correct me if somebody goes, oh my gosh, I meant to join and I didn't do it. I missed the first class. We'll let you in, right?
They can still come. Yeah. I'll send an email out to everybody.
We're so good. So we're off and running. I did the reading for this week. We're reading this week Emerson's essays, and it is so exciting to go back through and look at the people who inspired Ernest Holmes. He didn't make all this stuff up from just his mind alone. He pulled in some of these incredible mystics, these visionaries who set the stage for him. And it's mind-boggling to think of what was happening in the world and what most people believed. And here are these visionaries, these mystics who go, hey guys, it's not what's happening outside, it's within. So we're having just this marvelous class. We started last Monday. I know we're going to have a thrilling discussion as we're diving into Emerson. So if you're still interested, join us. It's Monday nights, 7 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, right here on our very own Zoom link. And then we have a class that will start in the fall. We figured out, it's busy during the summertime. So we put that off. We said, let's explore the idea of having our class change your thinking, change your life. There's no prerequisite. Come and learn how you can just make some incredible changes in your life. And it all starts here. And that will start in the fall. All right. I think that's it for announcements. Am I right? I'm right. All right, folks, our time together is at its end. However, I want to remind you that if you are able to hang around with us, if you don't have to rush off for any Father's Day plans, please stay. We do something called Pearls, where we share our thoughts and our reactions, anything that inspired us. I always fill up my journal with all kinds of notes. And we talk about other things. This is how I learned about that wonderful app from Erin called Merlin. And I can't wait to share with her all that I'm doing with that. So we just kind of hang out. And if you can, please stay. If you can't, we're going to send you on our way. But first, let's do our closing affirmation. So put your hands. This month is all about self-care, right? So I want you not just to give yourself or put your hands on your heart. I want you to give yourself a big old hug. You ready? And join me with saying, I am love.
I am love.
See, I wait to hear you. All right, now I want you to point to somebody or give somebody a hug if you're able, or send a hug out to somebody who needs one right now. And join me in saying, you are love.
You are love. Aw.
Oh, I sent in a hug
Aw.
off to Dad in Pennsylvania. All right, now put your hands up in the air as we end with this phrase, it is all love.
It's all love.
love.
It's all love. Happy Father's Day to everyone. Please stay if you can, and if not, we'll send you off with our love and our blessings. Bye.